All right, everybody, welcome back to Top Comics Pressing. This is a send-off video, so we're going to send these 10 modern comics to CGC and see what they have to say about them. The one on top here is an amazing copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 238. So this is the Hobgoblin copy with the infamous tattoos. So this was previously a CGC graded book that was a 9.2, and it had the tattoos missing from the insert. So I swapped out the insert and it got a 9.4 newsstand with the insert married. I don't know how they gauge that the insert is married. I've pulled that off maybe a couple dozen times, and this is the first time I've ever been flagged for it. So I cracked it out, and we're just going to send it in again and see how that goes. The next one up here is a copy of Batman Mad Love. This is a first print, so for those of you that are either fans of the Batman animated series or Harley Quinn, this is a must-have. This is a fairly high grade copy that I found actually shrink wrapped to a trade paperback at a con. So on occasion, it is worth doing those long box divings, because I actually found Batman Adventures #1 and this both in very high grade. The really tragic thing about this copy is the staples came pre-sunken just a little bit. I think that that's within tolerance because this is a fat issue with the normal staple size, but we'll see. And unfortunately, this looks like kind of a severe binding tear. It does look like a binding tear. It also could just be a chip out of it. Unfortunately, the paper was not folded under. So this I think is going to be predominantly what gets me dinged. I'm hoping this book comes in at like a 9294 with that corner chip taken out of it. Next up here are two copies of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #1. I don't spec much, but this is one of the books I'm specking on. I just have a feeling like Power Rangers is going to come full circle at some point, and at some point these books are going to get really hot for a short period of time. So I'm trying to keep a couple of them on hand. They're kind of hard to find. You can see that these are not going to be 9.8 copies, but I'm hoping that they are in that 9.2, 9.4, 9.6 category when they get done. They've got pretty clean spines. This one's got a little bit of wear up there in the top corner, which is a pretty big bummer. Other than that, they look pretty sharp. So I'm thinking, somewhere in that mid-9s range for those two. Fingers crossed, that'll be how they come up. This copy of the Savage She-Hulk 1 was a prior 9.4 slab. I cracked it out because I couldn't see anything wrong with it. It was flawless down the spine. It was flawless in the corner. I double checked it. I had my wife look at it. She's good at finding spine ticks that I miss through the slabs sometimes. It looked really sharp. What I found was a fingerprint right here and a fingerprint over here, thankfully both of which were on white, and I think I cleaned those off enough. So I'm optimistic that one might make a 9.8 on the trip, but very excited to see if we can take that 9.4 up to a 9.8. That would be pretty awesome. All right, Silver Surfer #1 here. This is the Mobius Stan Lee crossover. Very awesome comic, two-parter. Stan Lee story, Mobius art. Silver Surfer definitely had a unique place in Stan Lee's, series or gallery of heroes. And this one is super sharp copy. I think that there's one spine tick I found right about here. That might keep it from being a 9.8. So that is a very small spine tick, but I'm going to send it. Even a 9.6 on that book would be pretty awesome. I just love it. I think it's a great comic book two-parter, and if you haven't read it or explored it, I encourage you to do so. All right, the next one up here is a Kanan #6. So this is a first appearance of, I believe, Sabine. And very cool comic overall. This one I thought was going to come out a little bit better than it did. I did purchase this from my comic shop at a 6.0 fine grade. When I received it, I actually thought that was pretty accurate based on their wear. So it's hard to see through the wrapper there, but in the glare you can see these lines. I tried to press them out a couple of times and they just have not quite smoothed over, and so that's very disappointing. But it is what it is. On these moderns, it's super easy to damage the gloss. We'll see how that comes out. There's a little bit of a baby crease on the back. I'm hoping an 8.0. So if I take that from this 6 fine copy to an 8.85, I'd be happy with that. That should be pretty good. I really enjoyed the Peacemaker show with the Vigilante. The book has been sitting in my box to get CGC graded since that show premiered the first time around. I thought it was just hysterical. And so I'm setting this off because it's the first appearance of the Vigilante. I'm thinking 9.6. I forgot where the flaw is, but I think that there was one. Oh yeah, there's several of these really small non-color breaking spine ticks. And even though I did puff them out with the press, they're still there, and I think they're actually little creases in the paper, so I wasn't able to get that with the iron. So I'm thinking 9.6 on that one. This one I'm hoping for 9.0, 9.2. We'll see. It's got a little bit of wear down here, but that's mostly, you know, we'll see how that goes. You can see it's got a little bit of an overhang, which is causing some of the problem there. This copy I bought, again, from my comic shop, actually graded a 6.0. It looked pretty gross when I got it. It had some light foxing, and so this book has been through all of our blue LED treatments and lightning. I'm hoping for a 9. Well, we'll see how I do on that one. So that's my goal there. Last book in the series here is Voltron #1. Pretty hard to find. A bunch of 80s nostalgia centered around Voltron. I picked this up at a local show for, I believe, $10. Maybe it was $20. I forgot which. But I think it's going to be really high grade. You know, there's a little bit of a binding tear if you flip it on the side there. I would call that manufacturing and overlook it. And I believe that there's one incredibly small spine tick I found right here. So I'm hoping 9.6. If they sleep on it, it might come back at 9.8. I'd be disappointed if it was 9.4 or less. Anyway, that's this set of books. Keep your fingers crossed for me. If you find these videos helpful, go ahead and leave a like, a subscribe, and a follow. And stay tuned for how they come on the return trip for the unboxing. Alright, howdy folks, welcome back to Top Comics Pressing. In this video we have another unboxing. So this is a 10 comic modern submission, and a number of these books were previously graded. So one of which was a She-Hulk #1 that was a 9.4. I was hoping this one might come back a 9.8, we'll see. I actually have not looked at these. And then we had a Amazing Spider-Man #238, which was originally green label with the tattoo missing from insert. And then we got it up to a 9.4 with tattoo insert married. So obviously the green labels are no good. So we'll see if we can make that into a blue. And then a couple of other books that we had was a Thor 337 I got from my comic shop, graded a 6.0 fine, and a Kanan Last Pad 1 graded 6.0 fine from my comic shop as well. Neither of these books have been cleaned and pressed, and so we will see what we come up with here. And then there were, of course, obviously some other books. We will hop on in here, and we'll just start from this side here. So, Voltron, #1. This one came back a 9.4. That to me seems incredibly harsh. I was anticipating a 9.8 on this book. So we will have to see what on earth the graders seem to justify that grade. Because I frankly don't see it. I thought it should have been at least a 9.6 at worst, so kind of disappointed in that one, I guess. Here we have a Thor 337. Alright, so this is the one that was a 6.0 or fine copy from my comic shop, and we did clean that up to a 7.5. I honestly thought this book should have been a lot closer to a 9.0. I don't know if they hit it super hard for that little bit of writing on the back, so somebody had a number 12 written on the back. I'm going to have to look and see if there's grader notes on this one, because I do not see why. Maybe the little bit of wear here down on the corner? Maybe that's why. I don't remember seeing that, but we will have to go back and look through it. So that was another disappointment. I mean, I guess it's still better than the 6.0 that it was, so I guess that's still good. Here we have a New Teen Titans Annual #2. This one says 9.2. I thought this was going to be a 9.6, 9.8 as well. I have no idea why this is a 9.2. I mean, there's some very, very light spine stress lines right there that I guess did not press out. This one might be making the return trip as well. So, alright, we are at 3 for 3 for disappointments here. So this unboxing is shaping up to be quite good. Alright, here we go. Oh, at least this one came out nice. So here we have the Kanan Last Pad 1 that came 6.0 from my comic shop. This one came back a 9.2, which is pretty good. I don't think this book's going to get any higher than that. That was, I think, pretty good. There was some serious spine stress down over here. And there was a really, really big nasty crunch and roller pattern right along this part of the book that I tried to show off, I think, in the initial recording. So that one at least came out quite nice. Silver Surfer Limited Series #1, 9.6. Very good story. It's a two-parter by Stan Lee, and this one has the Mobius cover and art. 9.6 is where I thought this one would land. I think it had two very, very small spine ticks, but it looked effectively perfect until you really scanned it. So happy with that 9.6. We will do She-Hulk. Oh, so close. So close. I don't know why this one didn't get a 9.8. I don't know if it's just a miswrap. It did bump, thankfully, so, you know, I will take that 9.4 to 9.6. I got this at a pretty good price, so it's not like I'm heartbroken with the 9.6. I just don't know why it's not a 9.8. Oh well. I thought that one was for sure going to be a 9.8. I found two fingerprints on it, took them both off. Wow, they slammed my Power Rangers. 9.0. This one also looked like it should have been closer to a 9.4 in my opinion. I have no idea what they saw to get it a 9.0. 9.0. Oh, maybe the corner up here. Maybe that was it. There's a little bit of crunchy up here. Not shaping up to be my day. Other Power Rangers also 9.2. So probably 0.1 to 0.2. Lower than I expected on both of those, so it looks like I'm averaging about, with the exception of the Kanan, everything here so far has been about 0.2 low. I guess the Kanan and the Silver Surfer are the only ones that I think are shaping up to be about where I thought they would be. Batman Mad Love, here we go, 9.4. Epic, important key issue for anybody who's a fan either of the animated series or Harley Quinn. Kind of the origin of Harley Quinn. And just really awesome. There's just too many great lines, both in this comic and in the cartoon. I love this one. 9.4 I think is fair. It does have what looks like a pretty significant binding chip out of the bottom, so I think that's good. All right, drum roll. We got the last one here. This is the Amazing Spider-Man. The question is, was the third time the charm? It was. Here we go. 9.2, no tattoo in insert. 9.4, tattoo insert married. 9.4, blue label. So that's exactly what we're going for. I guess sometimes if you try again, it does indeed pay off. So there we go. Some letdowns in this one. This one I think is really, really solid. This one I'm very excited about. So I think we've got two winners, you know, from a 6.0 to a 9.2 is pretty huge. This one is pretty much as expected. A little bit low here. That's disappointing. This one was as expected, so that's good. The rest of these, though, man, all 5 of these other ones I think are at least a little bit lower than they should be, based on prior submissions. So I think all of these are a little bit lower than they should have been, and I think both Power Rangers are too. So I guess you get it sometimes and you don't. But at least this one worked out this time. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a thumbs up for me, drop a comment. Take what I can get.